Ah,
Thanks for watching the podcast that matters. I'm your host, Juan.
and I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And we are
Rope
Rope Break. How's everybody in the family today? Like every other Friday, right after the show is over, we're right here one more time. He's already fallen asleep, and I understand why, because I was asleep during the whole show. I don't know how are we going to do this, but we are. Friday Night Smackdown on Fox, February 7, 2020. Hope all of you are doing outstanding. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for being with us one more time. And Jean-Paul, another disappointing week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Did
as
we?
bad, but
Yeah,
bad.
I was gonna say yeah, and we honestly, when we turn on Fox at 8 o'clock, we don't expect anything good. You know what I mean? So anytime a little like a little glimmer of hope or like a decent segment comes on, I'm pleasantly surprised. And tonight, we got the segment with Otis. We got a little bit here and there that it made the show, but the rest of it, it's just background noise. I have it on, and you don't even need to pay attention because you're not even missing anything. Like I said, don't even watch the show. Just wait till 11 o'clock for Rope Break to be uploaded, and just watch that.
Just
It's
wait for us,
way more entertaining.
Yeah, way more entertainment, and also we provide the best insight in the community. Mm-hmm. We're not like any other, people that do this that brag about saying that their ideas are being used by WWE. We don't go that way. We just know what we're saying, and we just like to share it with every single one of you. Then, like Jean-Paul was saying, every single show is at least we see glimmers of hope, mm-hmm. but in the end, there's still bad. This one to me felt a little rushed. I don't know about you, but it just felt like we gotta get with this. We gotta get going with this. I don't know why it was like that.
Yeah, I mean the show, to me, it could have been better if you would have just switched some of these segments around. Yeah, the main event should have been at the top of the hour. That should have been at 9 o'clock. That should have been, the match to start the second hour of the show. No offense, but who wants to see a fatal four-way match between Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Dana Brooke as the main event? No.
Exactly.
And that's what I mean. That should have been at 9 o'clock, and you should have had Goldberg be in the main event, and instead. But and then he wasn't even there.
And that's the one thing. Bill Goldberg was supposedly going to be there in San Jose, California, but actually he happened to be a satellite. So a lot of people, I'm thinking, they're going to be really upset because probably they paid for the ticket thinking that they were going to see Goldberg. And in the end, they got 5 minutes of him via satellite.
See, but that sums up SmackDown perfectly. SmackDown moves to Fox. Oh, we think we're going to get good TV. We think we're going to get good wrestling. And then what do we get? We get disappointment.
Yeah, and
that sums up SmackDown perfectly.
Yeah, and we always said they were actually better when we're in the USA Network.
Yep.
And something again, if they would have been on Tuesdays, probably we would not feel the same way that we feel right now. Because maybe it's Friday.
Yeah, I would still hate it.
And we will hate it, but you know what I mean? In the back of your head, you're thinking, okay, it's Tuesday, whatever. I still have another day.
At least it doesn't ruin
it's Dynamite.
Yeah, it doesn't ruin the weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't ruin it for us.
It's a bad start of the weekend.
It kind of is, but Rope Break always comes back from the ashes like the Phoenix, and like Joaquin Phoenix, like the Phoenix, and that's why we are gonna deliver the best review that we can, that we possibly can. So, Mr. Egg, the show opens up, and with The Miz and John Morrison, and we get the dirt sheet back. The Miz comes strutting out, quickly followed by John Morrison, and they're hyping Once Upon a Time on the dirt sheet. And there's a video that was prepared by Mr. Miz, and also Lambstorm made a cameo. John Laurinaitis was there. It was pretty much like a trailer of a movie.
Yeah, for a movie, yeah. And I mean, it was it was amusing. I'm not going to say, oh, this was stupid, this was cringy, this was awful. Some parts I kind of laughed, but it was what it was. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't, hilarious. It was, I laughed at some points, but it was okay, what's the point?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to win at Saudi Arabia? What's going on? It should have been something like that. And then I did like the line where Morrison came down and he's like, I wear a shirt with buttons, but I don't have any of them closed or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like my shirt has buttons and I don't use them or something
Yeah.
like that because he has his shirt wide open. That
Oh
line
yeah.
I thought was funny, but
And like you said, like there was some like, a little bit of like bits and pieces of like a funny stuff right there, and like the video also showcased like the championship match that they're gonna have with the New Day at Super Showdown. So they said like they are definitely winning the tag team championships, and then like the crowd for most of it was dead. Like
oh yeah, they were dead for most of the show.
yeah, and are you the one? Can we blame the guys? I don't
No,
think so.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, we can blame him for going to that show.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was thinking that I was like, well, I can blame him for even thinking SmackDown would be good.
Yeah, like there's nothing to do on Friday night in San Jose. Let's go see SmackDown.
I would go to see SmackDown if the ticket was free, or obviously if they paid me. I would not pay money to go see SmackDown.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So the New Day comes out, and then Big E, like his voice is broke. He broke out, and then finally the crowd is kind of like waking up. And I don't know if you picked up on this, but like he was carrying like a thing of popcorn. And actually, the one guy that was next to him in the barricade, he kept grabbing the popcorn and he was eating from Big E. So I'm like, hopefully it was fresh. So they were mocking the trailer for The Miz and Morrison, and then they were telling the fans that, like I said, they were eating the popcorn, and Kofi continued to talk about Mr. Miz liking him more than he likes The Miz. So then they got into the ring, and they were mockingly, they're starting to laugh at each other, and then Miz had the match and said that they beat all the teams in SmackDown to get to the match, but then the Usos come out. And that kind of the Usos also like came a little cringy for me.
Oh yeah, that I didn't like. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I mean. They're mixing like the badass Uso penitentiary with like this like kid friendly version of them, and it's like it doesn't mix well because like they're cringy and they're trying to be funny while like with the Usi hot and all that bullshit a couple months ago. They're mixing like that. They're mixing that humor with like them being tough badasses, and it's like, no, that's not what we want to see. We just want to see them be tough. They should come out here, and cut like a good like heel promo, but they're trying to be baby faces and they're aligned with Roman, so that makes them look worse by comparison.
You're right. Like I think that like the fact that they're aligned to Roman makes it like to me like I don't want to be invested with them. Yeah. Just because they're aligned to Roman and I don't want to see them. So of course like they start brawling with each other. The Usos, New Day, Miz and Morrison, and then out there, and with no crowd reaction, Ziggler and Bobby Roode, and we didn't even get like the whole
Nick
team
Crickets.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't even get the whole team because they start brawling, and then of course we get a match that like we've never seen before in SmackDown Live: the Usos against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. A match that we've seen how many times already?
Yeah, too many for me to even care about it anymore. But like, I mean, the match, like, to give my opinions on it before you get into it, it wasn't a bad match. All four of those guys are really talented. Like, if you take storyline aspects and the way they're being presented out of that, and you're just looking at their in-ring talent, they're all good. So like, they'll put on a good match, but it's like we've seen it before. We know the storyline doesn't matter. What are they going to do? What if Ziggler and Bobby Roode would have won? What would that have meant? Exactly. You clearly know that this was just they were going to lose so the Usos can win and keep looking good, because I'm sure they're going to challenge Miz and Morrison and probably beat them for the titles at some point. So it'll just be hot potato with the tag titles because, why make a team look legitimate in the tag team division?
And that's what I was going to ask you. I'm sorry that I'm cutting you off, but
no,
for example, like, why do you have this match when neither of these teams are involved in the championship match? Like, who cares? Yeah, do you need a filler for the show?
That's what I mean. And it's like, I understand you're trying to like build contenders up maybe for your division, but like that's why you got to get heavy machinery out there, like a tag team people actually care about. And I know Otis is in his Mandy storyline, but that's not like a match. That's just like a backstage segment.
You could be involved in both.
Yeah, because you could have it. Yeah, because it could be like the Usos are beating down heavy machinery and they're going to win. And Mandy comes out and she's like, Otis. And then he holds up. Yeah, he hulks up and he freaking, and he beats him. Trash compactor and done.
Back and forth. They could do that back and forth. Yeah, and just they don't think like that.
Yeah, because then you could have Naomi come out and say, "Oh, you're distracting them." Because remember, Mandy Rose was flirting with the Usos earlier on. Yes. So then Naomi could come out, and then you could have I mean, I'm not that I'm saying I want to see this because usually these matches are awful, but you could have a 6-person intergender match. Or you
and they
have
will be
the
good.
Usos and Mandy Rose, and then the Usos and Naomi, and then Heavy Machinery and Mandy Rose.
And actually, it will be the first time that we're actually rooting for Mandy and
Yeah,
Otis, and Tucker and the Heavy Machinery they will be the faces actually,
yeah,
and
that's
the
what I mean.
heels will
Yeah,
be
because the
Naomi
Usos
and the
should be
Usos.
heel. The Usos as babyface are just cringy. I can't
Yeah,
stand it.
it reminds me of how they used to be before in WWE with like you remember like the
The face paint
tattoo and
and
yeah and like ooh and all of
like
that.
yeah,
So
like the Samoan stuff, and it's like that. To me, you can't go off the racist stereotypes. So that stuff. I know Vince McMahon is stuck in the '80s, and that's where he's going to be until the day he dies, probably when he's 275, because he'll live forever, unfortunately. But you need like to break free from that. That's why the Uso penitentiary gimmick and stuff was so good. But now we're like somewhere in the middle.
yeah, then like you said, like I feel that like if they will do something like more like heel or
Hmm.
like like more like kind of like the also penitentiary gimmick, like we don't care, like the attitude needs to be different. I will be invested more in them rather than this like oh I'm a baby face, I love Roman, I want to support Roman. No,
Yeah, see, that's where it should have been. They should have been wearing hoodies, and then let's take us to the match instead of booking this because WWE don't listen to our good ideas anyway. They should have been Miz and Morrison and the New Day going back and forth. The Usos should have jumped from the crowd wearing hoodies, to hood up the Jean Paul Eck look. Came in there, super kick, and be like, "Yeah, you beat them, but you didn't beat us." And then it should have been Miz and Morrison versus the Usos.
yeah,
But they
yeah.
should have been heel, jumped them, beat them down, not come out on the ramp and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like, oh
That
my
no,
God.
that when they start saying that, I saw the crowd a little bit like popping a little bit, but I was like, no, thank you. I
Hmm.
don't like that. No thanks. After there's something different. So I feel like we always go over the match. Ziggler to our right hand and fell off the apron. Then Jimmy nailed Samoan drops on both of the heels. Then he hit a hip attack in the corner on Ziggler, but then Bobby Roode got up and hit a scoop power slam for a 2 count. Then Ziggler took the tag and hit a zigzag for a 2 count. The zigzag used to be a legit finisher. He finished a lot of people
I'm
with it.
so glad you brought that up because I was just gonna say they buried that move. That move is dead. That move is like a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah,
It's like okay, it's a legit move, but nobody's gonna get pinned with it.
yeah, that's what I mean. So a 2 count, of course, like I said the same thing when he hit it. I'm like, it's not done because
Hmm.
and like he started like trying to do the super kick, but Jimmy nailed super kicks on both on Ziggler and Bobby, and then he pinned, and then Dolph Ziggler rolled into for another 2 count attempt. Then Roode took the tag, and the heels tried to hit a double suplex, but then one of the Usos called his brother, and then Jimmy took tag, and then he hit a double super kick on Bobby Roode, followed by the splash for the win. Same thing that like they always do. Now they are used to do double super kicks, and then they go for the splash. Match is over.
Hmm.
Can we say
Yeah,
anything else?
especially because there was that. They did the spine buster and then the zigzag combo, right? Or they did
Yeah.
some kind of So that was like the two signatures, or like or maybe like is the zigzag is it the famous or which one is his finisher?
The finisher it should be the finisher in the game, so to say, or like
Yeah,
the finisher
yeah,
used to be the zigzag.
yeah. That's what I mean. So you like Bobby Roode hit his signature, you could say, like his setup move to the Glorious DDT. He hit the spine buster, and then Ziggler hits his finisher, and they kick out. To me,
Yeah.
that's burying that team.
Oh yeah. Like
Not that they weren't being buried for the past how many weeks being aligned with Baron Corbin, but you're essentially just making like, yeah, their moves don't mean anything.
yeah, pretty much. And now he tries to do the super kick, the switch and music as his finisher, and he never hits it. Or when he hits it, it's still like people kick out. So we don't
Hmm.
know what the Dolph Ziggler's finisher is, and that's sad. The Bobby Roode never hits the Glorious DDT anymore because he should take the Glorious out of his name.
Yeah,
If they like
exactly.
to reduce everybody's, all the wrestlers' name. For example, today we found out that like Buddy Murphy is not Buddy Murphy anymore. Now it's Murphy.
Is that it?
Yeah, they took Buddy the
Oh
no
my
body out.
God.
Now it's just Murphy. So you
Maybe
are
that's
the
why I
head.
said. Maybe
You're
that's why I
not
said.
Jean Paul.
Yeah.
You're
Maybe
just
that's
the
why
head.
Seth Rollins calls him. He's like, oh my buddy. Maybe he does that as like a joke because they took his first name away.
I guess, but like you see how WWE, of course, they try to of course they're gonna have to ruin you when it comes to names,
They
moves,
do.
and
I
everything.
think they did that to Mustafa Ali, and then they gave him Mustafa back.
Yeah,
I think they took it. I think he was just Ali, and then he
yeah.
became Mustafa Ali like a month or two ago.
So at some point you will be Jean Paul again, but for now
Well,
you're just Leek. For
right
people
now,
who want to buy your merchandise,
I have my name copyrighted, and I'm an indie darling, so I'm still Jean Paul X.
that's right. That's right. So of course this match, is over. Who cares? Nobody.
Mhm.
Same stuff, rinse and repeat. Now, Alexa Bliss shows backstage with Nikki Cross. She's feeling great about her match tonight because there's a fatal four-way for the number one contender of the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's beat Bayley before, and she says, "I won the title in here in San Jose." So then Blaze said that like she has something twisted up her sleeve. And then we get to see King Corbin that he's going to the production booth to slap people around, and then he's for playing a clip of the dog food shower from last week, and then he dragged someone out of the truck and then down the steps. Then people showed up to the back of Corbin to just like get Corbin out of that person.
I wish it was Kevin Dunn.
Well,
I wish he would have grabbed Kevin Dunn by his fucking 6-inch front teeth and dragged him out of the production truck and been like, "Why don't you show good camera angles?"
yeah, he's like, why
And
don't you
beat him
show
up.
Bailey? Why don't you show
Yeah,
Alexa? Why
yeah.
don't you show Carmella? Why don't you show all these girls? Come on. Yeah, but that's what it was.
Yeah, give us something enjoyable to watch on this show because we're not getting enjoyable wrestling,
That's
enjoyable
true.
storylines.
It is true. So, we're just saying how we're just calling it how it is. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elias. He's a glorified.
Please welcome. Here it is. I'm digging the grave right now. I have the tombstone ready. Anthony Cesaro dead.
Yeah,
Cesaro dead. Oh, he's dead.
absolutely.
I can't stand it.
Oh, Jean Paul, I gotta tell you even more. The only reason that he was paired with Sami Zayn and Nakamura, that would ask to Sami Zayn's request. Because when he went for a creative and said, "Do you have something for me?" They were like, "We don't have anything for you." And Sami Zayn was walking
Cesaro.
by, yeah, for Cesaro, and Sami Zayn was walking by, like, "No, no, 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 hold on a second. This guy's so talented. Put him with us."
I would have been like, Sammy, screw you, dude. I would have been like, fine. Then I would have went to Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and been like, put me on NXT UK.
And put me against Walter.
Yeah, or literally anybody.
Yeah,
Anything on NXT UK will be better than what he's doing now.
yeah.
Dropping to Elias, who I'm sorry, like Elias, I like his character, I like the gimmick. The dude can't wrestle. The dude
Oh,
he has like 4 moves, and he's so boring in the ring. It's like,
as a
and
musician,
he beats Cesaro, and it's like, are you kidding me?
it is bad. It is bad. And let me take you just a little bit of it. Like he said, of course he has to go. Who wants to walk with Elias? Blah blah blah. And then he's about to start singing a song, and then he gets interrupted by Cesaro. And like you said, they had a match. And the fact that like Cesaro keeps losing is so bad. As a wrestling fan, as somebody that understands the psychology of wrestling, why would you have one of your most talented men losing to
Mm-hmm.
Elias?
If you like, that's the thing. Like there's a couple WWE matches of Cesaro that are good. Like with Dragunov was really good, and there's a couple other matches out there. Especially when he was in the bar. They had some good matches. But like if you look on anything on the indies, like PWG and all those other like smaller indie promotions, that even like
Ring of Honor.
Cesaro has matches against like Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen on the indies, and all those guys, like big name guys. He's not wrestling like local enhancement losers. He's wrestling guys who are in WWE, and he's putting on 4 or 5-star matches in the indies, and then he comes to WWE, and Vince is like, well, he can't talk, so I don't want him.
Yeah, and
And it's like,
this guy should be a world heavyweight champion. Like this guy should be holding gold at all times because this guy is great. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, he might
me,
not be good in the
to
mic,
me,
but who cares?
to me, he's one of those guys who, if I was running a company and I had it, he would definitely have been a world champion at least once, probably more than once. But he'd be like the mid-card god. He would have had the IC belt like 3-4 times, the US belt 3-4 times. He would have been like the standard bearer of like the mid-card because he's like a workhorse and he can put on a good match with anybody. And when the time comes, he could get somebody over. Like he could put on a great match with a Ricochet and then boom, drop the title to a Ricochet. A
He could
Chad
be,
Gable, a Mustafa Ali, somebody like that.
he could be like the measuring stick. You know
That's
what
what
I
I
mean?
mean.
Like
Yeah.
for example, like hey, if the guy beats you or like he gets over, he passes you, then he should be ready for like a main event
Yeah,
status.
yeah, you could use him as they did with Bret Hart early on before he was in the main event scene, or like Mr. Perfect, guys like that, Roddy Piper, like those mid card / main event guys that were always prominent. Instead, they use him as a jobber.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Elias climbed to the top, but Cesaro hits the ropes and crushed him. Then Elias knocks Cesaro off, but Cesaro came back with an uppercut and a superplex for a 2 count. Cesaro landed a sick European uppercut where he tossed Elias in the air. That got another 2 count, and then Cesaro started laying in the forearm uppercuts like crazy. And then Elias came back with a clothesline suplex before nailing an elbow of the top rope for the win.
But let's just take you through that whole thing. So he did a superplex, but I think he was standing on the second rope. Yeah. I think Elias was on the apron and Cesaro was in the ring, and he does a superplex from the second rope. So he does that. You said all those European uppercuts and just regular uppercuts and all that, and he kicks out. He hits a fucking bullshit clothesline and an elbow, and for like really, like, what's Cesaro? Is he made of glass? You know what I mean? Like, how do you like take and absorb all that offense and then you deliver that piss poor attempt, like, oh, the elbow drop because maybe people will pop because Macho Man, like, really, how am I supposed to believe that you could kick out of that and then your opponent can't kick out of your pathetic offense?
And especially, like, once again, I just gotta, like, take you back. It's like, is Elias against Cesaro? It's no secret for anybody how good Cesaro is. Mm-hmm. So you know that, like, there's job in the guy.
Yeah.
So please, Tony Khan, you have the money, sign this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Know? For example, wouldn't you like to see, like, a Jake Hager against Cesaro? 2 colossal powers. Mm-hmm. Let's say he comes and he starts helping John Moxley, or they form something right there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him, they could play like a real life angle where the Dark Order, they're recruiting people that feel like losers. You'd be like, Cesaro, you've been, for the past couple years, you've been presented as a loser. Join us and this and that. And then, he could join the Dark Order. Especially if they bring Matt Hardy, it could be like, boom, 2 big name WWE guys. Like I said, if Matt Hardy's if he's the exalted one in the Dark Order, which I think that's what they want, but it's all depending if he's going to sign or not.
I'm thinking he will. And you know why? Because even Rebby, she put like a thing on Twitter, and it was like a picture of like kind of one of the Congress women or something, and she was like ripping papers, and it said Vince McMahon with Matt Hardy's ideas, and you could see like ripping all the idea. I'm like, yeah, because I suppose like he's like pitched so many good things with it, with the Hardy compound and all of that.
Well, yeah, Vince doesn't want to do it because it's not his idea.
Exactly. So he's not even receptive.
That's why he had to change the broken to woken, because he couldn't. And people were like, oh, it's copyright. No, it's not. Vince could pay off Dixie Carter for the copyright. Like, are you kidding me? Don't even play that game.
Oh yeah. So, and like you said, it's just like bad, and I feel bad for Cesaro. Give him something better to do. And Elias, what is he gonna do with this? Nothing. Because who's the IC champion? Braun Strowman. Is he gonna beat him? Absolutely no. So then Baron Corbin walks out, and then he's really upset. He's really pissed. He told people to go on their knees and listen to what the king has to say. He said last week was an abomination, and then he took a shot at the 49ers for losing to the Chiefs at the Super Bowl. And then, of course, the big dog. He has to come out, and that's when we all fell asleep. So he comes out, and then he said that Roman Reigns should have been the one covering dog food, but the Usos kept bailing him out. When are they going to realize that they're carrying dead weight? So then he demanded another match with Roman, and then he said that he's not leaving until he gets what he wants. And like I said, Roman comes out, and then of course Corbin poured water all over, like he put water into like a guy from the crowd.
He grabbed somebody's soda, which obviously this was a plant. It wasn't like just some random fan. So he grabbed a soda, dumped it on him, and he's like, "Oh, you want another?" And then he grabbed the bottle of water.
Yeah.
And
so extremely bad. Like this thing again. Why they keep carrying this thing, dragging it, and it's not dragging off.
Yeah, no, I wish it was.
It's like dragging this thing that doesn't make any sense. So then Reigns gets the Superman punch, and then he beats Corbin, and then he says Baron Corbin left. So Roman says we're gonna have another match. Really?
Is it next?
No, it's like this match is gonna be Super Showdown, and this time, so you cannot get away from me. It's gonna be inside a steel cage.
So I don't know what he's probably gonna fucking spear him through the door, and they'll both land, or Corbin will hit first because he spears him, like the Brock Lesnar thing. Corbin will win, and then he'll be like, "I'm so good," and then Reigns will be like, "Well, that don't count, man. That's bullshit, dog. I'm gonna challenge you for one more match at the Elimination Chamber."
and we're gonna be there, and we're gonna have to like I don't.
So when that happens, I'll say to everybody who's in our row, excuse me, I got to take a
that
shit.
will be the bathroom break.
Yep.
That will be the bathroom break. So don't think that like we're gonna be reviewing that match. No, we will, but we'll get somebody to record for us because that will
I'll just listen to it from the bathroom stall.
No, we will just hear like, and you'll spear.
Yeah, you'll hear all the boos, and it's like, Roman must have won.
Yeah, he must have won. So Mr. Leek, we go to like the segment that everybody wanted. So this is like around 9 o'clock, 9:10.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Goldberg. Everybody thought that he was in San Jose. No.
And like I said, this should have been the main event. Don't you agree? This should have been what closed the show.
Jean Paul. And you're talking about the Universal Championship. Is your main championship? Mm-hmm. Shouldn't that be the main event at all times?
Yeah, that should close the show. And when they're like, "Oh, up next we have Goldberg," I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for like on the door, I can't sing his theme song, but like he comes out and like the sparks and all that. Like he could have just been in a suit. He didn't need to be in ring gear, look like a moron, whatever. Just be wearing a suit or like casual clothes, whatever he wants to wear. But he should have still came out.
Oh yeah.
And instead it wasn't even there. You see me sitting in his gym, probably in his freaking garage with his wife making dinner, and it's like, what is going on here?
And then you hear like, "Oh, dinner's ready, Bill."
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill, honey, and he's like, "Hold on, I got to challenge.
Let me take this championship match."
Yeah, I got to challenge the Fiend.
Yeah, so he's like via satellite, and he says that the Royal Rumble got him thinking. Gave him some inspiration. So then he proposed that he goes for the Universal title. He wants a rematch because he said my reign was really short. And then we get hold on. Breaking news.
Yeah, I like that. Like. Yeah, and the one thing before, I just want to quick say, like, he said he never got his rematch, which at the time, the rematch clause was still there. So he does bring up a good point because he should have gotten a rematch. But of course, he was just there for the run, and it, for going into like the work aspect of it, he was there. They gave him the belt, so just so his kid could see him hold the title, which I feel like his kid didn't even care because his kid was like Fortnite dancing in the ring. So how much does he really care about, his dad winning the championship? But
yes.
And all this stuff. And like he said, I did like when he made the line, he's like, "Oh, yeah, my good old buddy Brock Lesnar is involved. He's with Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, so I'll challenge the Fiend." I did like how he like referenced Brock Lesnar like that.
Yeah, no, see, that was like good. And also like, see, this segment probably was one of the best things in the show. And then we got like, breaking news. And then we get to see the Firefly Funhouse. And then we get to see, Bray Wyatt kind of like as a news anchor. And he's like, "Oh yeah, the Bill Goldberg just happened to challenge the Fiend for the Universal Championship." So they go at it, and like he says, the Fiend accepts. So there's gonna be a match, and let me in. So he's
I do like how I think he called him like William Goldberg, which was funny, and also like Goldberg's intensity at the end, where like Bray Wyatt kept talking and joking around, and he was just like, "Shut up," blah blah. I forget exactly what he said, but he like. He got real intense.
Yeah, you're not gonna get in my head. That's what.
Yeah. Which I mean, that would have been cool if he would have got up and like ripped off his shirt. You know what I mean? Which it wouldn't have made sense because he wasn't there in person. But like, I'm glad he showed the intensity that he was not just like, "I'll beat you at Super Showdown."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just
like, shut up. You're not gonna get in my head. I'll see you in Saudi Arabia for the I'm gonna beat you. He said, "I'm gonna beat you for the Universal Championship." He ripped the earpiece out of his ear. Done.
That's what I mean. Like he was intense, and I'm sure he's gonna hit the jackhammer, the spear, and all that, and the Fiend's gonna kick out, and it will be like, "Oh my god!" And then mandible claw and done.
And done. So wait, Jean Paul already gave you the whole match, so you don't even have to watch Super Showdown. So
and like I said, to
5 minutes.
Yeah, to me, it won't be any longer than 5 minutes.
And
like 5 to 7 minutes is the range of this match.
And already 4 minutes is going to be Goldberg's entrance.
Yep.
So already we give you the other 3 minutes, so you guys are good. So we go now to Daniel Bryan, and he had a backstage segment with...
I got kids!
Man. And he has kids, so we need to feed those kids. So he's later. So Bryan was told that he shouldn't think about the strap match of the Royal Rumble in his own way. So Daniel Bryan kind of like he got really upset because kind of like, of course, he's later is like, "Yo, man, like, you lost, dude."
Yeah, and he's like, I wouldn't have let another man whip me like that, man. And he's like, "I don't know what you were thinking. I wouldn't want to challenge the Fiend again," and all this other stuff. And you gotta love Heath. Like he's so great. Even though you don't ever see him, and it's like probably half the people watching like, who the hell is Heath Slater? But it's like the dude, he is talented when they're actually let him wrestle. And, like he is funny. Like I feel like if you put him on TV, well, how over was him and Rhino back in the day?
Yeah, they were champions. They were the first Smackdown tag team champions.
Yeah, they were over because everybody loves that. It's a team that who would have saw that? Rhino and Heath Slater. Nobody would have been like, oh, that's a tag team right there.
I know.
But they made it work, and it was funny, and it was good.
They made something out of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, and that's like just shows his talent, not just in the ring, but to be, to get over with what he's given.
Yeah, exactly. And see, like you bring up a really good point. And Heath Slater is one of those underestimated guys. Mm-hmm. They have that in their faces, jobber for life.
Mm-hmm. But the problem is just way too many people on the roster. They could cut their roster in half. They could eliminate half of their roster and still put on, a good show. If
Jean Paul, what a lot of people are saying, if Drew McIntyre becomes the new WWE champion, they want the first challenger to be guess who?
Hold on, this is Raw.
If we're talking about Slater and Drew McIntyre.
Oh no, not Jinder.
Yeah, they want to be Jinder Mahal. They want Jinder to be the first challenger for the
WWE he's not going to win because if they see WWE is stupid, but they're not that stupid. If they give the belt to Jinder, they know that AEW is going to win. You know what I mean? There's no way.
And we're just going to start like doing AEW reviews. So it is like that. So we got the match. Daniel Bryan hits later. The match absolutely really really quick. Mm-hmm. He started to shoot off a cannon with a running knee, suicide dive, and a missile drop kick from the top. Then he hit the yes kicks, and then Bryan nailed another running knee, but he wasn't done, so he grabbed Heath and stomped him down on his face over and over again. And then the referee called for the bell when Bryan got the Lavelle log on. So Bryan wins, and then we get, we're thinking to each other. We have this thing in our heads. Is he face or is he heel now?
Like I said,
what's going on
to me, it was like a bullshit match. And now this could be a thing where, a lot of people are saying maybe the Fiend and Daniel Bryan, maybe he turns and joins him again, like how he joined the Wyatt family before. Maybe it's like, hey, like the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them, kind of thing. Yeah. And that's something where if you are going to do Roman Reigns against the Fiend at WrestleMania, have Bryan cost him the match. So then Roman doesn't win. And then you can do Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. They can feud. They can have their blow off at SummerSlam. There you go, WWE. Just please take my ideas. Mm-hmm. So, that's what I would do. Because, what's Daniel Bryan going to do? Like I said, at the Royal Rumble, if there was any time, if anybody had all the fan support, it was right there with Daniel Bryan. But they weren't going to pull the trigger there because they want Roman Reigns to do it. So... but like I said, there will be no one who the crowd is behind as much as they were as Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. So, like, he's not going to win. Like, he's not going to challenge the Fiend at the Elimination Chamber or this and that. If he does, it's going to be a bullshit match. People won't care anymore. So, I say turn him heel.
It will be like the best idea because what do you do with him?
The only bullshit thing, though, is that he was just heel. And then he turned babyface to go against the Fiend now to just turn heel again.
Let's remember how did he become face again. Remember he was heel through the Roman Reigns storyline, and then he held Roman, so he became face thanks to Roman. So I feel that like the fact that like he has like a clause for like he has a creative control is not really helping him out because we don't really know what is going on with him. Although, like, the rivalry with the Finn has been really, really great, but we don't know what's going to happen after this. So we'll see where this goes.
And that's not to say he never did the head stomps and all that when he was a face, but dude, like, this is Heath Slater. Like, why do you got to like murder the guy? You know what I mean? Like, just hit the running knee, pin him, and be done.
I know it was just poor Heath. He has kids.
That's what I mean. Like, his probably like 7,000 kids are all at home like crying.
I know. Now it's a
they probably weren't even watching. They probably weren't even watching the show because they didn't know he was going to be on. They're like, Dad's never on.
Yeah, no, they were sleeping.
Yeah.
They made him like try to stay awake, but now they fell asleep because the show is so freaking boring.
Yeah.
So Renee Young, she's in the ring, and I even texted you. See, I have in my notes. Why is Renee Young there? I thought that she was gonna be with Gian
Paul X.
Yeah, Gian Paul X. So she's there for Braun Strowman. So something that kind of bothered me, and I know it bothered you, you deserved chance.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
And also, like, this is the thing too that I pick up when she asks Braun Strowman, how does it feel? Blah blah blah. He doesn't answer her right away, and I'm just gonna say it's because he's so stupid he doesn't know what he wants to say. Because he just starts looking around to the crowd, and then they start cheering, and then that's an extra 10, 15 seconds he has to think of an answer.
Yeah.
So he didn't answer it right away. He just kind of looked around, and then the crowd started cheering. But again, I always question. Like, I mean, obviously some were cheering, and there was a "You deserve it" chant. But like I said, that volume could have been there, and Kevin Dunn just turns the knob and is like, let's make it sound really loud so people really invested in Braun Strowman. Because I'm not going to lie, the casual fan is more invested in Braun Strowman than Nakamura, because ever since Nakamura turned heel, he's been presented as a loser. I mean, he's been presented as a loser since he's been calling up to the main roster.
The main roster pretty much ruined Nakamura. So Braun says that he's done a lot in WWE, but this title means the most. So then Nakamura comes out, and Sami Zayn says that Braun's win was fraudulent. So then Strowman cuts Zayn off, and he says that he'll defend the title anytime at any place. So Zayn said it's happening, but it's just not happening tonight in San Jose. So they're going to be smart, surgical, and tactical about this. So probably Super Showdown. So then the Revival jumps Braun Strowman, and then they beat him down. Zayn seems to be paired with like the Revival now too, and then his stable is rapidly grown. It's kind of like weird to see Sami Zayn managing the whole stable.
But
I want to see Sami wrestling.
But to me, this is a stable of losers. And like, I don't think so. All four of these dudes are probably four of the most talented people on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But like, it's a joke. They're taking all these guys like losers. They don't like Nakamura because he doesn't speak that good of English, which if you listen to him speak in interviews, he sounds fine. I think he was on Talk as Jericho, or he was on somebody's radio, like a wrestler's podcast, and you could understand him. It's just like I don't know what it is. Like, maybe when he's on the microphone and I think when he yells, it's harder to understand it. But when yeah, exactly. But when he's talking, just like how you and I are talking, you can understand him fine. But they don't like.
Maybe he gets nervous, because maybe he has to talk in front of people. I don't know. Like maybe
they don't like Cesaro. They don't like the Revival because they're not signing deals. So I feel like they're taking all these guys they don't like, and they're like, here, we'll give them to you, Sammy, because we don't like you either.
You know what?
Like I said, it's a stable of losers.
It's a stable that they should be named like legit in NXT, bullshit in main roster. That should be the name. Because they were legit in NXT, and now they're freaking losers in the main roster. So then Braun fought everyone off, and he changed Sami Zayn out of the ring, but then Braun took out Dash and Dawson before Sami ran into the ring, and Nakamura, of course, he nailed the Kinshasa to leave Braun Strowman on the mat. So they did kind of like the same thing that they've done before, but this time Braun wasn't able to avoid the Kinshasa. So this probably says again, I'm calling it for either Super Showdown or the Elimination Chamber.
I hope it's Super Showdown, and I hope at the Elimination Chamber we get Sheamus versus Braun Strowman, and I hope Sheamus beats him.
That would be cool. See, in the Chamber, we will be there and we will be celebrating. And now we will actually have more technology, so you'll see our live reaction when these matches take place and our reaction about all the outcomes. So then we get finally something that we're truly appreciating. Like, we get to see Otis and Tucker, so we get to see our man. He says, you have 1 week, you have a date with Mandy Rose, so we have to get you ready for that, buddy. And then he's like lifting trash cans. He's doing some exercises.
Yeah, he has it almost looks like the beer keg. He has that thing up, and then he's doing sit-ups, and he has the slice of pizza.
Oh yeah, but the one thing that I really love, and you probably guys think that I'm weird, maybe I am. It doesn't really matter. But when you see like the belly, and the belly's like, moving around. And I was like, okay. You see the belly going up and down.
Yeah, and then I like when he has the suit jacket on, and then Tucker's looking at him, and he rips off the sleeves.
And then he undoes like the sleeves, and then
when he has Mandy Rose's shirt on.
Oh, and he like no, and then he's like rehearsing how he's gonna act during the dinner, and then he gets the steak. He starts eating with his hands, and then Tucker is like and then he shows like the silverware, and then he like lifts the whole thing. He lifts the table, and then it's like, oh, you're ready. Like, I'll be fine. So
I just love his voice. He's like, tacky.
Oh, he's like, I don't know what I'm about to do. I love the guy.
I want to hear his like shoot voice.
I know
You know
when
what I
he
mean? Like,
spills, you know.
I want to hear what he actually sounds like.
I'm time sound like this. Okay,
I wish he would. I wish he actually sounded like high pitched like that.
it will be great.
That'd be amazing.
It will be legit. Now we get something a match that it was a squash match. Another one really quick. Sheamus against Apollo Crews. Who's that?
Oh, Apollo Crews, another guy who was legit on NXT. And he should still be in NXT. He should have been an NXT lifer because the dude was only like 22, 23, and he was legit in NXT. He had a great match with Finn Balor, and Vince McMahon saw that and was like, gimme, gimme. And then he's like, oh, just kidding. You're going to...
And done.
Yeah, you're going to...
Not even an entrance, jobber, you know, and really another one, very athletic guy.
And I love how they even said they're like, oh, Sheamus is going to have his hands full. It's like, shut up, Michael Cole. He beat him in like 3 minutes, like not even 30 seconds.
30 seconds. It was, you know, it was just really quick. It was the bro kick and done. Right done. You know, and
like, yeah, and like the commentary, they try to like get these guys over, and it's like, you know, the guy didn't even have an entrance.
To sell those things. Yeah. It's impossible to sell those things. So then, of course, he was about to do another bro kick, but then Shorty G came out to the rescue to make the save. But then he got like also a bro kick and done. Although Shorty kind of like he avoided the first bro kick because he was about to do the ankle lock. But then he got another bro kick, and Sheamus stands tall.
But do we want to see this again? No. He beat him twice. He beat Chad Gable twice. So now it's done. I don't care.
Yeah. So
to me, it's like 2 out of 3. Like that's what a feud should be. If you win one, you know, then your opponent wins one, then you keep the feud going. But if you win twice in a row, it's done.
Yeah.
Especially clean. It's not like he's with Cesaro when Cesaro came down and caused him, you know, and caused Chad Gable to lose. It was clean victory. Done. Move on.
It is that. And that's what I mean. He should move on to what you just said. Braun Strowman, IC belt. That should be Sheamus. Because I know Sheamus wants to become an IC champion. Because once again, he could become the Grand Slam champion. That's the only title that he's never held.
I guess if they include the Universal, he'd have to win that.
But no, what they do is always like a major heavyweight championship. He held the WWE.
Yeah, WWE. Yeah.
You know, and he was like tag champion.
And wasn't he the World Heavyweight Championship too?
Yeah, he was both. Yeah, he was both. And you know, he was also the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Remember when he cashed in on Roman?
Yeah,
He won all of that. He was US champion. He was, you know, tag on Raw and Smackdown with the bar. So yeah, that's the only thing he needs to be a Grand Slam. And you know, Sheamus is legit, so he should get that.
I think they're setting him up for that. I think that's where it's going to go. And WWE, they respect Sheamus enough. He's never been booked like Sheamus has never looked, in my opinion, like shitty. He might have been overbooked where people are like, he doesn't deserve to be where he is, but they never made him look like a loser, like a jobber. I think they like Sheamus. They respect him. So I think that he will be Braun Strowman or someone, whoever the IC champion, he'll be.
The only time that I will say that they made him look bad is when Braun Strowman and Nicholas beat him at WrestleMania. So
that's because Vince, he waxed the Braun Strowman.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. So now is main event time, Mr. Leek. Fatal 4-way for the #1 contender for the WWE Women's SmackDown Championship. Naomi, Carmella, Dana Brooke, and the goddess Alexa Bliss. And the only thing I'm going to say about Alexa Bliss, she just got a song out from a group named Bowling for Zoop. Mm-hmm. They made a song and a video about her. So
yeah, because I guess she was a big fan, and there's a picture I saw back when she used to do like modeling and stuff because she was like a cheerleader, and I don't know if she did bodybuilding or what, but she did like modeling and stuff, and she was wearing like a Bowling for Soup shirt. So like back then, and she's always been a big fan. So I guess they were like, hey, you know, a hot chick. Let's be relevant. Yeah, we'll write a song about her.
And of course, and I just listened to the song and says a few parts like, oh yeah, and her finisher is Twisted Bliss, blah blah blah. I'm like, come on.
Is it a bullshit? I mean, I'm not gonna listen to it, so.
It's alternative pop. Okay, so
and I won't even listen to it for Rope Break. I'm sorry, family, but I refuse. Yeah, I refuse to listen to it.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Main thing of this match, Jean Paul, winner and #1 contender, Carmella.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing I will say before you take us to the matches, how much better, you know, and I was kind of talking shit on Naomi last week coming down. It's like, why are you going to say that you deserve a title shot? Like, why? For drinking and driving and being off TV for how many weeks? Now you think you deserve a title shot? But just seeing her in this match, I'm not going to say that I'm retracting my statement saying she deserves it, but I wanted her to win just for the fact that she is more talented than all three of those women combined.
Yeah.
She has more skill set, and she looks like her moves are more legit, more believable than Carmella, Dana Brooke, and Alexa Bliss. All combined. And I'm like, but there's one wrestler versus three bimbos.
It is. It is. And unfortunately, those two of those bimbos have been champions, so many times, especially Bliss. 5 times, every single title. And Naomi only was a 2-time SmackDown champion. And Naomi, her arsenal is really, really good. I really like the disaster kick. I like the Rob Van Dam move, like the moonsault.
The split-legged moonsault. Yeah.
Split-legged moon. I like the rearview mirror. She has a good, she's very athletic. She's probably one of the most athletic women.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And in the match when she was getting thrown into the turnbuckle and this and that, like the way she sells it and moves and all that, she's like, it looks good.
Oh yeah.
Not like these other women that they can't throw a punch, they can't take a punch, and this and that. So I said,
Carmella, I think she's getting better, but the only thing she does is super kicks.
Yeah.
Can you do something else? It's super kick after super kick and the Bronco Buster.
Yeah.
And done.
She does that, and she does her freaking moonwalk that Corey Graves is, he whacks to, which you don't even need to whack to it, but he does on commentary anyway, and it's like, we don't care. We know you're banging her, enough. We don't care.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. I'm sorry. So let's take you some of the highlights of the match, if you could say there were highlights. Mm-hmm. So Bliss and Naomi started fighting out of the top, and Naomi was sent down to Bliss, and then she ran to get a pin. Naomi was too far away to hit with the Sparkle Splash. Then Naomi threw Bliss at the Carmella, and then
Sparkle Splash. That's legit. That's legit. That was what it was in NXT when she was like a bullshit little fairy cheerleader.
Yeah, it's the Sparkle Splash. Yeah, now we gotta call it the moves, for the goddess. So Naomi threw Bliss at Mella, and then she suplexed Brooke in the ring, and then she hit a split leg drop for a 2 count before throwing Brooke back at the outside. Alexa then bounced Naomi off the second turnbuckle and threw her into the top one for a good measure. Then Bliss climbed to the top and went for Twisted Bliss, but Naomi got her knees up and hit her finisher, and then Carmella kicked Naomi twice and won. So she did the Twisted Bliss. Mm-hmm. Naomi counters. She hits the rearview mirror, and then Carmella comes out, and then she does the super kick twice, and then she wins.
Yeah,
so then we get to see Bayley attacking Carmella, because Bayley was on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see that match set up.
Earlier, like I said, Naomi, she looked the most impressive in this match. She did the most work. She's the most talented, and she's the one who, when Bayley and her had that back and forth, she threw Naomi into the steel steps.
Yeah.
Naomi was injured, or hurt, not injured, I guess, hurt from that. And she was out of the match for a little bit, and then she came back in and still had the best performance. And Carmella comes in, like you said, 2 super kicks and done. She steals the pin, and it's okay, there's a little bit of history between Bayley and Carmella. They were, really good friends. They're good friends in real life, and this and that. So it's maybe that's kind of what they do for the feud. But to me, this is it's one of those things where it's we need a championship match, but Bayley's clearly going to retain. So who do we pick? Because I feel like Naomi is a feud. You could really book it and do something with it. And if they book the feud and make it legit and make me care, I don't care if Bayley drops it to Naomi, but you have to make me care.
It will have to show a little more intensity from Naomi, going toe to toe with Bayley.
Yeah, to me, it's just the story. If the story's not there, I don't care. When Daniel Bryan and the Fiend, the story was there. That's why you want to see Daniel Bryan beat the Fiend. What's Roman gonna? He's gonna win the Elimination Chamber and be like, I challenge the Fiend. It's why? I mean, I understand why, because you won. You had the option to challenge a champion. Why wouldn't you? Drew McIntyre already has Brock Lesnar. You're not going to challenge Braun Strowman for the IC championship. What are you, an idiot? Of course you're going to go after the main title. But, it's not like he has any feud with the Fiend.
Exactly.
It's not like the Fiend is costing him matches against Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? There's no, the Fiend is all the way over here and Roman Reigns is all the way over here, and their paths aren't touching at all. but he's going to win the chamber and challenge the Fiend. Like, that story doesn't make sense, so I don't want to see it.
It's the truth. So there's reports that's not confirmed by WWE yet, but there might be this women's championship match might take place at Super Showdown, where it will be something groundbreaking because they never had a championship match in Saudi Arabia. So if they do that, it will be something out of the ordinary. It will be for the first time ever, so the WWE can start doing first time ever.
Like they had who was that? Was that? Well, I know Lana. She came out with Bobby Lashley, but then it was
also like
who was it? It was Natalya and Lacey Evans. Yeah, so they did have the match. Yeah.
Championship match. So we'll see if they confirm that. But a lot of people got emails, pumping the Smackdown. They said the baby will
Carmella's gonna have to come out looking like the Pink Power Ranger because there's no way in hell she can wear her ring gear.
No.
I mean, same with Bayley. Like Bayley has pants, but like she still has her like midriff, her stomach showing, and she doesn't have any sleeves.
Yeah.
So they're probably gonna both have to wear like the Power Ranger suit, I call it, because when Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks wrestled, I believe that was in India though.
They came out.
Yeah, they look like Power Rangers, and I mean the same thing with like Lacey Evans and Natalya.
Yeah, because they had the Raw and everything over there. Yeah.
So were they wearing T-shirts? Because I actually forget what their attire looked.
It was T-shirt and pants, everything, cover everything.
Yeah, I'd rather see like I said, the Power Rangers. Have it just be the full body like suit kind of thing.
It will be cooler than that. So this wraps up the show, Jean Paul. I think we did a good job. I hope the family enjoyed it. And of course, they
definitely enjoyed it more than the 2 hours of SmackDown. I can tell you.
I really hope they did, and I think
can guarantee
the show is not getting any better. But for us, it's just 2 hours that I guess they filled some WWE time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hoping that it's gonna get better in the near future, but I hope that all of you are enjoying this because I think that we try to be as informative and at the same time funny. Take these things instead of complaining.
and that's
we present it on a different light.
Yeah, and I don't want to say I like when the shows are bad because I don't. But when the shows are bad, it makes my mind go in the sense where it's like, how would I book it? How would I make it better? And that's the thing, like when we give these ideas, we want you guys to comment. Be like, yeah, like Juan's idea is legit. Like John Paul, like he's going crazy here. What's going on? Like his booking's like bogus. Or if they're, tell us.
Or he sucks at booking.
Yeah, like do you agree with us? Do you not agree? Tell us like what you guys think because, like I said, I think we're presenting way better ideas than what they're doing because it's like they don't care. Like I almost feel like they have names in a hat with like matches and they just shake it up and then they're like, okay, it's gonna be Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler, and that's what they do. They don't. There's no thinking behind it.
There's no creativity. You can say that. So Jean Paul, you and me, we'll be back for more content for the family. Thank you, every single one of you again. Please, please, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the bell for everything on notification. Give us a like for the videos, please. That helps us out. That makes the video go bigger and bigger. It makes the video reach out to the newer audiences, and that's what we want. And don't forget to check us out also like in the social media world, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the social media world. So thank you so much, family. We'll be back pretty soon. In the name of Jean Paul and myself, we both want to say...